Welcome to ABVM, which is Application Approval, Benefit Issuance, Verification, and Meal Counting and Claiming. Thank you for joining us today for ABVM. This is a required class per USDA. At least one person from your district does need to finish this course in order for your district to be in compliance with child nutrition. So we're going to go over everything regarding application approval, benefit issuance, verification, meal counting and claiming, and some other additional information for a child nutrition program school year 2022 and 2023. So this year we are getting back to normal. I know the last couple of years have been a lot different than in normal. Kids have been eating free. We've been on SSO and not the National School Lunch Program, but we are going back to normal. This year, it is required to charge students the applicable amount for meals served, unless you are a provision or CEP, to take free and reduced price applications at the beginning of the year, again, unless your district is provision or CEP in a non-base year, to claim students in their correct categories regarding free, reduced, and paid. You will have to do the low income report in October. Also in October, you will start the verification process, which we'll talk more about in this presentation. And we will also, in closer to verification, we will be having training on that to help you with that process. And we'll talk about, and you really should complete the PLE tool in the spring. We will need to have, if you're still working on your application and agreement, we do have to have a copy of either the PLE tool or a copy of your revenue and expenditure worksheet showing that you were in a positive balance as of December, I believe 31st of 2021. I don't believe it's December 1st. I think it's December 31st, but you can talk to Becky Gray or anybody in the school program area regarding the PLE. If you do have any questions at any time during your school year, please reach out to your program specialist. We also used to talk to them as a consultant. Their information is on page C3 of the compliance section. It includes their email address, a cell phone, and the counties and their territory. What a program specialist does, if you are new, they're the one that does come out and conduct your administrative review. They will help with any technical assistance. What that means is if you have any questions or want them to look at anything, you can contact them and have them come out to look at your record just to make sure, or maybe you're wanting to change your point of service, or if there's anything that you want them to come out and to look at your district, they are more than welcome to do so. And then if you have any questions regarding the child nutrition manual, any USDA guidance, and the day-to-day child nutrition activities at your school. You can always call us here at the state office as well. Our phone number is listed here. Some people get a little confused with what the difference is between your program specialist and us here in the office. And a lot of times we handle the back end of things, such as your claim and application and agreement. So this will give you just the correct information on the person you should contact for whatever information that you are needing. So we did do reviews last year. We will also be doing reviews this year. This is just a notification of what we will look at. In the handouts packets that you'll receive during this training, we did give the notification letter. So it does give you an idea if you are up for review this year. And we do look at the free and reduced apps, the verification documentation, direct certification, edit checks, professional standards, the unpaid meal charge policy, any financial documents from OCAS, paid lunch equity tool, or if you have an exemption. And what also might be applicable is if you are multi-sited and you have, you will have to do on-site reviews. If you are provision, we'll have to look at we just need to glance at your base year information. So the base year information is the first year that you went on provision. Some of you, it could have been 4 years ago. Some of you, it could have been 15 years ago. We have to see your base year records. And if you do use a food service management company, we will look at invoices and the attachment M, which should be attached to your invoices. Some other things that we look at is your commodity and your purchased inventory. We see any medical statements that you might have on file, your production records, anything that you have regarding Buy American, if you have child nutrition labels or any product formulation statements, your HACCP plan, which is, or also your food safety checklist, your wellness policy, and if your school does do any fundraisers regarding smart snack documentation, if you do the after school snack program, that documentation, and also if you've awarded the fresh fruit and vegetable grant, we will look at documentation regarding that. We also do what we call procurement reviews. Now, these reviews are done. We are contracted with DWG Consulting, and Robin Dickerson is usually Dixon is the main contact for that. What they will ask for is your procurement plan, your protest procedures, any product specifications, Buy American, your code of conduct. When we do a procurement review, we do it for the last school year. When we do an AR, we do it on the last month that you claim. But with procurement review, we look at the prior fiscal year. And the reason for that is because you already did procurement for that full year. And so we will look at your revenue and expenditure reports for child nutrition. So that's code 700. We will look at any bid documentation or an RFP, certain invoices. It just depends on what gets pulled, whoever you spent some child nutrition dollars on, we have to pull certain vendors. And then if you use a food service management company, we will again look at documentation, your invoices, and attachment M. Now, your procurement review might be the same time or the same year as your administrative review. It is all dependent upon if you are self-operating or if you're a food service management company. Per USDA, if you are self-op, you will get reviewed every 5 years. So we try to keep that in the same year that you have your AR. Now, if you're a food service management company, then you will get reviewed every 3 years. And again, this is a USDA thing. It's kind of a pain for us to have to decipher all this. We have to check every year if you're on food service management, if you're not, and when the last time that you were reviewed, because again, you cannot go past 5 years for self-operating. And we can't let you go past 3 years for food service management company. If you were with a food service management company and you choose to go back self-op, we try to put your procurement review back into the same year that you have your AR, so we can keep everything kind of together. But that is done. It's a desk review, so no one will be at your district for that. It will all be done online via email. And again, we contract with DWG Consulting. Now, when it comes to ABVM, in general, who is responsible for child nutrition? It could be your school food authority. It could be your child nutrition director, your cafeteria manager or their staff, the superintendent. Is it the secretary, principals, maybe your encumbrance clerk or treasurer? But a school district is still responsible. Especially if you're using a food service management company. A lot of times people think that because you're using a food service management company that you're just releasing all control of child nutrition. It's one less thing to think about. If you use a food service management company, really you have more responsibility than if you are self-op. And we do have food service management company training. We try to do that in every January. So look for that when it comes out, and we do go over the whole RFP and the responsibilities of the food service management company along with the responsibilities of the school district if you choose to go food service management company. If you're thinking about it, it is also a great course to take because we will go over not only the responsibilities, but we go through the RFP process as well. So if you look in your manual on page C6, C stands for compliance document, you will see that we have acronyms in there. So if you ever reach a point when you see something in the manual, you don't know what it means, go to C6, the acronyms page, and the information should be there listed for you. And that way, hopefully, child nutrition, we do have a lot of jargon. We do have a lot of acronyms that we do use. So it does take a little learning curve to get used to them. But once you start hearing them, you will be just in line with the rest of us in child nutrition and do nothing but acronyms. We have what we call reporting dates. It's a very helpful guide to let you know when items are due. It is listed on page C5 of the compliance section. And we also, if you attended a live training, we have a calendar that we print out. We also print out this calendar that will tell you reporting dates as well. If you do want a copy of one and you didn't get one, you can reach out to our office at 405-521-5522. 3327. I'm giving you an opposite number. It's 405-521-3327. You can reach our office. The number was also listed in an earlier slide, and we can send you one of the calendars. We do give them out every year. The last couple of years, they've just been online only due to COVID and not having ABVM in person. So when can meals be claimed? So if you are on this National School Lunch Program and this the school breakfast program or severe need breakfast, you can claim meals only on accredited days. So if you are a school district that does go 4 days a week and you choose to have stuff at your school district on a Friday, that's not an accredited day. And so you cannot claim meals on days that are not accredited. If you are set up like that and you do want to serve meals, talk to our office. There's another program that you could possibly go on to claim meals on days that are not accredited. But as if you want to claim meals for the breakfast, lunch, or after school snack, you can only claim those meals on days that are accredited. Again, if they're a non-accredited school day, then you cannot serve breakfast, lunch, or snack on the National School Lunch Program. We have several charter schools in the state of Oklahoma. If you go into the compliance section on page 7 to 8, it starts the information regarding charter schools. The one thing with charter schools is when it comes to child nutrition, you are your own school authority. Even though you have a sponsor, you are your own authority. So we are contracted with you directly. The charter school can run self-op or you can contract for meals, but you must follow proper procurement. If contracting with the school must operate the National School Lunch and the National School Breakfast Program in order to be on our program. You have to meet all meal requirements. And again, you're reviewed every 5 years. And you do have to submit all C&P reports, which are child nutrition reports. So you are considered to be your own entity. So when they passed the legislation several years ago about child nutrition or about charter schools getting their federal funds, we are a federal fund. So you do have to follow our rules if you want to participate. We are a voluntary program. You are not required to participate in child nutrition, but just note if you do have to follow all of our federal rules, which we'll be going over all throughout this presentation if you want to be in our program, which we have, most of our charter schools are on. So not to scare you, but there's just some people that when we first started with the charter schools, when they changed the legislation, I believe in 2010, a lot thought that they really didn't have to abide by our guidelines, but it is, if you want to be on our program, you do have to abide by our federal guidelines. Civil rights. So this will go from page C9 through C15 of the compliance section. So in the civil rights section, we have the non-discrimination statement. This is new this year, so just make sure anything that you have that you put the USDA non-discrimination statement is the newest one. You do have to have training. You can see that information on page C11. We have already had the live civil rights training, but it is located in OSDE Connect. If anybody handles anything with child nutrition, they do have to take the civil rights training. It is about a 1-hour training. You will get credit for it. If you go to OSDE Connect, we do have a link, the direct link to this training in other documents. You can go down to training information and click on the link and take it. You will get a certificate when you are complete. Every year we do this via Zoom one time, and then again we put it out on OSDE Connect. But everybody who does anything with child nutrition or even assist or a volunteer must have civil rights training. We also have a civil rights compliance checklist that has to be done by October 31st. And if anybody has a complaint on child nutrition and it is regarding civil rights, there is a complaint filing form. It is in the manual and it is also in other documents that you can use that as well. Again, anything that you have that does get sent out to parents, like a menu, if you send that a menu out, it does have to have the non-discrimination statement on it. If a lot of, like all of our information, like the application that you give to parents, it's already on there. But if you do have any menus that are posted online, you do need to have the non-discrimination statement there as well. Now, this is the first part of it. It is quite lengthy. This is the second part. If your document page is very large and you can't fit, you can shrink all of this down to as teeny tiny as you want to where you can't even read it. the whole statement. But if you just do not have room to put that whole statement on there, you can put this last line that says this institution is an equal opportunity provider. However, that one statement has to be in the same font size as the rest of the document or larger. It can't be smaller. So again, if you want to use the full non-discrimination statement, you can make it so small that no one even knows what it is. You can't even read it. But if you have a menu and you put the non-discrimination statement on the menu, but you only use that last line, let's say that the font of the menu is in 12-point font, then this institution is an equal opportunity provider, has to be in at least 12-point font or larger. This is the Injustice for All poster. This does have to be hung in a visible location. We do say when we did have going on with COVID and feeding in the classroom and stuff, to be just in a prominent location that most people will see it. Some people started putting it in the front door, but if you're starting to go back to normal, you can put this back into the cafeteria, or again, some place that most of the majority of the people will see it. Now, we are getting new Injustice for All posters. We do not know when we will be getting this from USDA. As long as you have one for your site, you are fine. Once we get new ones, we will mail them out. Again, we do not know when we will receive them. So as long as you have one, you are fine, again, until we get the new ones, and we will keep you posted. Again, these will come in the mail, and we will send them to you'll get at least one per site. Another thing when it does come to civil rights is separation of gender. It is not permitted to separate by gender. The state agency may approve any exemptions if it's if you're a religious organization, if you're a juvenile correction facility, or if you're a facility that operating entire program and you separate by gender already. So if you do want more information on this, you can see this information in the compliance section on C85 for anything regarding separation of gender.